Let's bring on Jay Glazer. Jay, let's get in here. I got questions. Jay Glazer, NFL insider.
Hello.
Hey.
Unbreakable Performance Center.
I got to unbutton this. Strahan always yells at me that I'm going to knock your eye out with my button.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
You're ripped. Okay, so it's interesting. Let's start with a year ago. I sort of saw what Gruden was doing. All right, I'm not going to pay for stars outside of my quarterback, accumulate draft picks, almost a New England feel to it. And now, in the last 48 hours,
right.
Antonio Brown, Trent Brown, it feels like they've making it up as they go.
I kind of looks like, because you look at it and go, well, do they really have this plan in place when they got rid of Khalil Mack? No, absolutely not. But also, Antonio Brown fell into their laps, right? An Antonio Brown deal where, they look at it and go, the Steelers, their ego got in the way here because this was not enough for Antonio Brown. A 3 and a 5 was not enough for an Antonio Brown. So they all of a sudden get an Antonio Brown. Then they go and they get a left tackle who, to make him the highest paid left tackle in the NFL. When we saw what happened last year when Nate Solder left, when he didn't have Tom Brady, make him look a lot better, you have to say, oh, okay, well, they're kind of using money over there. And then you talked about already, I think, with Le'Veon Bell. They're in the Le'Veon Bell market here. They have all these number one picks they could use to dangle to get other high-priced free agents as well, or go trade for somebody. But I agree with you. I think Mike Mayock will have a plan. I don't think John Gruden never had a plan. No.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like a plan.
No. This feels like, hey, this just fell into our laps. Let's do it. Fantastic. It's Happy Hanukkah for the Raiders.
Yeah. It's interesting. John Gruden is an interesting guy. If I was a cynic and I just said, listen.
If you were a cynic?
Okay, I'm a cynic. Lame Duck Stadium. They've got to sell tickets in Vegas that now has a wildly popular hockey team.
Right.
They got to step on them. This is not a high revenue team. Could I make the argument that Antonio Brown is as much about selling tickets as he is about football? I mean, by the way, Khalil Mack's great. I'm not sure he sells a bunch of tickets. Antonio Brown sells tickets.
Yeah, I think they do have to look at it business-wise, and they have. Look, in the past, when they got Marshawn Lynch, they got him because, we still need to sell tickets while we're still in Oakland, even though we're a lame duck team here.
Right.
Same type of thing, yeah. But no, Antonio Brown, here's the bottom line. Talent-wise, he is one of the top 3 in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
He is incredibly talented. I will say this, and people forget this. When Antonio Brown did his Instagram Live or Facebook Live, whatever it was, from their locker room, the team fined him. But at that time, and we said it on Fox NFL Sunday, that the Steelers said, hey, this is making his rope here a lot shorter. We're not going to handle, we're not going to put up for a lot more. And he knows that. But at the time, I think he looked at I don't ever want to leave the Steelers. This place is my home. So they had a little bit more swagger, if you will, with that. Eventually it became, okay, then get rid of me. I'm good. What this does, it does a couple things. One, all the other receivers right now, they're going, oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the money. But it also could mess things up as far as, look, Cowboys traded 1 for Amari Cooper. Now these guys traded 3 and a 5 for Antonio Brown. So teams, I think, that were going to try and hope to get a much bigger bounty, this could bring that down and almost temper what teams are now going to go and try and get.
It used to be, Jay, it was kind of foolish man's territory to spend a lot of money in free agency and trades. Eagles did it, won a Super Bowl.
And we talked about that last year. All of a sudden, it's going to be
Rams did it.
Yeah, it's going to be copycat. Absolutely.
And it does feel like in the last 2 to 3 years, it feels a little like the NBA free agency, where it's like, hey, it's working. I mean, this is, say what you want. I'm actually shocked Le'Veon Bell hasn't signed somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not shocked he hasn't signed anywhere yet, because for them, Le'Veon Bell, they're going to have to get the best financial deal possible to show everybody it made sense for us to sit out. They've got to get that. Even if the way they structure it on the surface, it has to look like we made up that money from last year and then some.
So Le'Veon's people are not going to take a discount deal.
Oh, my God. If they do,
they'll look terrible.
Oh, my God.
Because they already gave up $12 million, $15 million.
For malpractice. Yeah.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Do you have a sense? I just read a story this morning that there's people inside the Jets building. They just feel.
Split. Yeah.
What do you make of Le'Veon?
I think a lot of teams are afraid. Look, there's a couple things. Number one, no one's seen Le'Veon Bell. So they do got to look at him also. They got to make sure, okay, this guy just hasn't been down there in South Beach and hanging out doing whatever. Talent-wise, he's a different weapon. He is a difference maker in this league. Absolute difference maker in the NFL. So I do think that teams are going to be in, they're going to want him, but their fear is, man, they're really going to want this huge deal that shows everybody this is why we sat out, and it's going to be a ridiculous deal. But, it only takes one. It's all it takes. It just takes one to give you that kind of money.
So I said this last week. When you break a story or when you have a strong opinion, I always believe it. I can't say that for everybody in this business, NBA or NFL or baseball reporters. But you have said, the Giants have said, Odell Beckham's not on the trade block, and you will not back down. You have said exactly what?
Oh, I was asked to make a bold prediction for the offseason. I said my bold prediction would be that the Giants will trade Odell Beckham this offseason.
And you won't back down from it.
It's my prediction. And then Dave Gettleman, obviously, he's come out and he said, I didn't sign him to trade him. That's correct. He didn't sign him to trade him. But things change. Right? Now, where they are with Odell Beckham, they're not going to go, and that's where I said, the Antonio Brown thing could screw things up there. Because they're not going to get rid of him for 3 and a 5. Absolutely not. And the talks they have had with other teams, and yes, teams have absolutely called and talked to the Giants.
And they'll take the calls.
And they've taken the calls, and they've had conversations. It's not been, no, he's not on the block, click. It's not been that at all. Okay, so just for everybody out there saying that, they're not going to do it, they're certainly listening. But their asking price right now is ridiculous for him. And I think they'll look at the AB and go, well, that's a ridiculous price as well. You got to see if things kind of calm down on both ends, what their asking price is and what, the AB price was so low. I think they've got to find something else there. But sometimes it's just a change of scenery is good for both sides.
It's very possible. When I talked to Odell Beckham about a month ago, very engaging, good listener.
You said you were in Utah. Were you guys skiing again?
No, I was skiing and I got a call.
The fire, having some hot cocoa?
I got a text said Odell Beckham wants to talk to you about something you'd said. We had a great conversation. And, he told me his frustrations. And after I hung the phone up, or what do you call that when you can see him? It's the
FaceTime.
Sorry. So it was.
Are you not educating him here on technology?
I try.
Jordan, this is your job.
I try.
So it was FaceTime, and after we hung up,
FaceTime.
My takeaway was he could really do with a new team. Yeah. It wasn't anti-Giants or anti-Odell. It was emotionally, he could really use a new start.
I think all sides. That's what it is. There's no animosity. There's no hate.
Right.
Sometimes it's just time for a change of scenery. Remember now, last year, they were talking about moving on last year from him, right? When he wanted a new deal. And there was a lot that John Mara was saying. Pat Shurmur was the one who went in there and said, no, I want him. Let's salvage this. Let's save him. I want him here. And there were a lot of teams. The Rams were interested. The Patriots were interested. There were teams they were talking to and they were looking at. But Pat Shurmur was like, just let me have him. I know I could do this. And it's just,
by the way,
it didn't arise.
What happened at the end of last year, Jay? He didn't play.
Didn't play. And what happened?
Giants played well.
Giants played very well. I just think it's an energy thing that, look, he's a incredible talent.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Athletically, look, we've had a lot of players come in and out of Unbreakable over the years, our Jim. There's nothing like this cat ever. I've never seen anything like it. It's unreal what he does. As a dude, phenomenal. Great person. Incredible. There's nothing wrong with him. He's great. Just sometimes the energy changes, and it's just time for a change. I think that's where all sides are.
By the way, good people get divorced. It's okay. It happens. Okay, Kyler Murray, Arizona. I never thought initially this would happen. Steve Keim had picked a quarterback last year. Generally, general managers don't want to acknowledge, I don't like that pick. I'm going to move him. The more I read, the more I feel. I get the Cliff Kingsbury thing, Jay. If Kingsbury doesn't work, everybody in that building is getting fired. Do you think it's going to happen?
Well, here's the thing. I know people want answers right now, but the honest truth is, A, he has his pro day this week. Let's see what happens there. But B, everything really comes down to when you sit and you have these personal meetings with these kids, right? They're going to go down now, and the GM and the head coach and the owner, they'll go and they'll spend an entire day and sometimes night with these players, right? Bears did a couple years ago with Mitch Trubisky. Nobody knew. They fell in love with Mitch Trubisky. That's it. Oh, my God, that's our guy. There are other times you sit with the quarterback. There were teams where they loved Deshaun Kaiser, sat down, had the meeting with him like, that, we're off it, okay? Patrick Mahomes a couple years ago. Remember, this time, a few years ago, nobody had Patrick Mahomes in the top 15. He wasn't there.
That's
okay?
right.
But he went in. One team told me that they sat with Patrick Mahomes, and it was a team with a very established quarterback who you'd never think they'd move on from. And they were ready to take Mahomes, and that's one of the reasons the Chiefs moved up. But he said he came into our meeting, and what happens is you'll give these players plays, right? Hey, go memorize some of our plays, and then you're going to come back, and we'll see what your retention is. They said Patrick Mahomes came back and literally said to him, you want me to regurgitate it right-handed or left-handed? What? You said, what? Are you serious? Dead serious. Like, he is, oh, my God. So now if Kyler Murray goes in there, it absolutely wows him. Then yes, you take that. Look, John Schneider, the Seattle Seahawks, he's the blueprint. Years ago, he goes out and trades for Matt Flynn from the Green Bay Packers, right? But then there's Russell Wilson sitting there. He's like, I don't care. This is the guy. I'm going to get Russell Wilson. I'm drafting him. We're moving on. If you find that guy you think is going to be it, you go get him. Even if you drafted another quarterback the year before, but it's really going to go down. I can't stress this enough. Everybody who says they know what they're going to do, it's going to go down that meeting because he could go in there and go meet with Arizona, and they can come away and go, it's just, we don't feel it. It's getting that feeling, that energy.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.